My garage shop is an absolute disaster. Over the past year, I've worked out of some makeshift but kind of messy shops. Don't get me wrong, they've got the job done. But in this video, I'm finally starting to set up my dream garage shop. I'm gonna be doing it all with scrap wood and budget materials. I've got free plans to the workbench build behind me. I'm gonna show you how I put the French cleats on the wall and hopefully give you guys some good tips and tricks so you don't make the same mistake that I made setting up my shop. So first I'm gonna go ahead and set the scene and explain why it looks like a bomb went off in here. So we moved into this place like a month and a half ago and we dropped everything as people normally do in the garage. Slowly started bringing stuff in the house. I set up this back corner of the shop, keep giving stuff to you wonderful people on YouTube. But now that we're kind of moved into the house more, I am going to put more of my attention on getting the shop set up and also looking a little bit nicer too. I have a whole third stall here, but it pushes out a little bit more in the back here, so I have this extra space. This back corner here is gonna be where most of the work is done, but I'm gonna have this whole third stall to, you know, pull my truck in, unload some lumber. I'm gonna have some lumber racks and storage on the walls here, maybe a mobile, you know, sheet good cart or something like that. But I'm really prioritizing this space here for not just, you know, the work that's gonna be done, but also I want it to look nice, be kind of like a set for when I film my videos. So let's go ahead and talk about the shop layout over there real quick. I have my main 3 stations that I'm thinking of, and again, this is all gonna change as we go, but I have my miter saw station, which is gonna be on that back wall over there. I'm gonna have my main table saw and outfeed table, my mobile one, which you guys have seen in most of my videos. And that's gonna be kind of floating in the middle here. I'm gonna have a French cleat system on this back wall here where I can put most of the tools that I use on a regular basis. That was basically on this tool wall. I'm gonna transfer all of that stuff over to the French cleat system on the back wall. And there I'll have, you know, kind of a triangle basically. We'll have the miter saw station, table saw, and all of the tools I use on a regular basis. And on this wall over here, I'm really big into archery and hunting, so I'm also gonna have a little archery station, little spot for bow press and stuff like that, but also more French cleat on the back wall there. That way I can just, as I grow and expand, keep adding tools onto the wall, make it look pretty, nice and crispy. You know, we like to look at our tools just as much as we like to use them. So I wanna put them on display out here, not only for, you know, the cool factor, but also because nobody wants to be digging through a bunch of drawers and stuff trying to find the tools that they use on a daily basis. But I think I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Before I get to any of that stuff and we start building the actual workbenches and installing the French cleat on the walls, we have to finish the walls here. I've got 2 coats so far on the joint compound, so now I have to put the final skimming coat on, and once that's done, we'll do a final sanding. And then I'm gonna run to the store with my wife. We're gonna pick out some paint, come on back here, and we're gonna paint the new workshop. All right, we got everything sanded pretty good. It is a garage, so we kept moving, if you know what I mean. But it's pretty smooth, good enough for me. A lot of this is gonna be covered up with tools and shelving and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna put some Dutch Boy drywall primer and sealer on it. This is drywall and mud, just completely raw, so it's gonna soak up a lot of paint. Primer sealer is a lot cheaper, like half as expensive as those other 5-gallon buckets of paint I got for all the walls of the garage. So we're gonna go ahead, get started priming everything. I'm not touching the ceiling right now because I'm gonna be doing an acoustic soundboard later in the future. I'm just trying to get all the walls done today. I do all my filming out here and there's a lot of echoing with all the, you know, hard surfaces, so I don't have any carpet down and I probably won't have carpet. So getting some acoustic foam or something up there is really gonna help. But I digress. Let's go ahead, get this whole garage primed, and then we can move on and start painting this thing. All right, update here. We finally did it. We have the entire shop space painted. Stopped right there. I'm gonna finish the rest of the garage at a later date. Hey, Soph. Up next, we have a workbench to put in over here. Got a new fresh stack of 2x4s over there, just got from Menards. Miter station is going over here. I'm going to put the miter saw on the far side of the stand there, and then planning on cutting everything out that way. Also, if I do end up putting a door here, that'll work to my advantage, because if I do have an extra long board, I can open the door and I don't see that happening too terribly often, but I can open the door and stick the board out that way, and I can cut it down here. If you have a miter saw station, it's really good to have one side be extra long. You don't really want to put it right in the middle, because if you have to cut a really long board down, but you don't want to cut it straight down the middle, you know, you want it favoring one side. Let's talk the productivity triangle or work triangle. In a kitchen, you have your stove, your sink, and your refrigerator. Those are the three things that in most cases you're gonna be at when you're cooking the most. So you're gonna be moving from your fridge to the sink to the stove and back and forth and back and forth. If you have anything in the way of those three things, it's gonna slow down and disrupt your productivity. I was thinking, what is my work triangle in the shop? And I would challenge all of you, if you're serious about woodworking, or even if it's just as a hobby and you just want to, you know, be a little bit more productive and have that flow and not the friction in the shop. I've talked about the flow friction concept before. It just makes everything more fun when things are flowing and there's nothing in the way. You're not tripping over stuff. I was thinking, I have my workbench, my crafting table, as my son calls it, from Minecraft, with my table saw. That's going to be kind of the center hub of the shop. So that's definitely going in the center here, because everything else kind of circulates around the table saw. And then I'm at the miter saw quite often, you know, cutting down stock, getting it to size. So I think that's number 2. This is all personal preference, so it's different for everybody. But my third station would be that black cabinet that you've seen in my videos, or the tool chest in my previous videos. I'm gonna be swapping that tool chest out and just building some cabinetry and, you know, some drawers underneath the work table, but I think it's going to be my tool wall. So all of this is going to be on some French cleats along these two walls here. So I think that would be 3. So I've got my miter saw over here, boom, cutting things down to size, come over here, buzz them through the table saw. And then as I'm working on it, I'm sanding over here, and then I have easy access to all my tools along the wall. So I have my triangle, 1, 2, 3. It's more like it's a very narrow triangle, but it'll, you know, you get the point. When you are setting up your shop, don't be afraid to take a whole day or two, or more even if you want, and really map out where you think everything's gonna go, where you really want it to go. I'm gonna tape all this off so that I can actually visually see it first. I also know I want a door eventually going to the backyard over here, and the miter station along this wall. So this is mobile. This is gonna live here for now. Eventually, I'll probably line the further down the garage with the tools, and then I'll have an even bigger workbench in the middle of the garage, but that's for later. Put a lot of thought already into this while I was painting and mudding, had a lot of time to think about it. So I would challenge all of you guys watching, though, to really take time and figure out how you work in your shop. It's all personal, right? We all have different projects and goals. So how you think you're gonna work in your shop, set it up to you, right? Get ideas from other people, but then you have to decide for yourself the best flow in the shop. Where do you walk to most? What tools do you like close together? Also, lighting is a big factor. So think about lighting. Say you don't have the ability to install more lights up top. Think about the lighting you already have, and you know, position certain things underneath that light so you can see better. Or, you know, before you set up your shop, maybe think about getting an electrician out, getting some wiring done. Painting the walls, obviously, I'm gonna put the L bench in because I know I want that there for sure. But as far as the other tools go, I'm gonna keep them all pretty mobile and just put casters on the bottom of everything. I really like to be able to move it around. So if you're not too sure where you want your tools yet, just, you know, make little mobile bases out of scrap plywood, some 2x4s, slap some casters on the bottom of them, and then you keep them mobile. Then you don't feel like you're making such a big commitment, and you know, you're putting tools in the wrong spot. That's why I also like the French cleat system on the wall. You know, the cleats go up, but then you can put your tools wherever you want, and I'm constantly tweaking. I love that about woodworking. You're constantly tuning and tweaking and trying to make things a little bit better, because you can never quite master it. That's one of the best parts about it, is that you can't master woodworking. So when you are constantly tweaking and tuning things, your flow in your shop just gets better and better and better, and it's all fun part of the process. All right, I've got the general outline taped up. So what I'm gonna do first is actually start cutting some braces for the back. Gonna find all the studs on here with the fine stutter, and then I'm gonna just use some deck screws, screw the braces right to the wall. Then I'm gonna use the rest of the 2x4x10s to just frame out the entire L base here. I'm gonna cut some legs. I'm gonna fill in all of the cabinets and drawers later with plywood. That's not in this video. You have to subscribe and follow to see how I do that in a future video. But I'm gonna start by getting the frame for this L desk here completely put together, and then we can start cutting the 3 1/4 inch ply for the top.
Okay, so we have the rough framing in right now. There's a whole bunch of ways that I could have built this, but I decided to go with this format because I'm planning on putting cabinets, well, drawers and stuff like I mentioned earlier in these spots here, a couple cabinet doors here, 2 slots or sections of drawers here. So I'm gonna cut all that plywood down for the top of the table, and then we can go ahead and after that's in, we can start spacing out our French cleat system on the wall. To cut the plywood, I'm actually gonna use a poor man's track saw out on the driveway. I showed how I made this poor man's track saw in the Ultimate Mobile Grill Cart video that I made a few months back. I most likely will need some more supports here on the inside when I install the cabinets. That way the back has something to screw into when I put the plywood in, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now, just kind of roughed out. That way, when I get to that in a future video, and I change my mind on how I want to design it or build it, I don't have to pull anything out. This is pretty much bare minimum for right now. So yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to mention that in case people were wondering why I don't have any supports on the back here. I'm gonna add them just later. I just tend to change my mind last minute on how I want to build things. I think I bought like 70 bucks worth of 2x4s and then used a lot of scrap wood that I had in the garage. So all in all, this whole bench top is not gonna be all that expensive. It's gonna be a great work surface as soon as I get it done. Pour right on. Got the pieces all cut. I am gonna add some more supports underneath here on all the seams. I have one on this side and one, here I'll show you, right over here on this side. This one, I actually might take this one off and just slide it over an inch or whatever. That way it splits down the line here. I think I'll do that instead. Then I'll just sand it over really nicely and I'm gonna stain the top and we'll go from there. You know what I just realized? Maybe I should have put all of this over there. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just leave it here. All right, so we officially have the tabletop surface, work surface on. So here's what I did. Just inset the screws a little bit so you can see it there. That way, you know, nothing's gonna catch it. I'm gonna sand all these ridges down so it's nice and smooth. Then we have some stain over here. Right here, we're going with the cabot. I got it tinted in the bark mulch color. So kind of hide some of the grain here. Not crazy about the grain pattern on the 3/4 inch ply. We're gonna coat this and this and that, and then we're gonna leave all this raw because all the cabinets are gonna be the same color as the wall. So now we're gonna get started on the French cleats. We need to put some cleats all along that wall, and then I'm gonna break it up with the sign in the middle here. Couple cleats here, couple cleats on that side. To do that, I'm gonna use that scrap piece of ply right there that I took off of that temporary tool wall I showed you guys at the beginning. I gotta get the table saw out of that pile there in the spot here where it actually goes. We're gonna start ripping that thing down into 4-inch strips. And then I'm going to angle the table saw, the blade at 45 degrees. And then we're gonna rip those 4-inch strips down in half at that 45-degree angle. Once I get a bunch of those cut, we're gonna go ahead and start spacing these off about 5 inches apart, starting the first cleat 7 inches from the top of the workbench. Also, in case anybody's wondering, the toe kick on the bottom here, way up here by the corner, because remember we have a sloping garage that way, and it slopes this way as well. So 4 inches from here to here at the top, and then down there it's closer to 5.5 inches, I believe. So we started here, but these all are level going out straight. I measured from the top down because I know the top is level because I leveled the first leveled the first board underneath the cabinet here. You can see, whoa, that's dark. Let me turn this ISO up for you here. Pretty simple and straightforward. All the free plans, again, are in the description if you want to look at how I put all this together. You can copy it, use the exact same model. You can customize it, do whatever you want. We gotta get this thing cleared off here now. Oh boy.
Free tip for you guys, because I had to do the math on it, so hopefully this helps you guys out. But I ripped these, right? We ripped the sheets down into manageable pieces, then we ripped them into 4-inch strips, and now we need to rip these in half at a 45-degree angle on the table saw. So we're gonna set the table saw to 1 inch and 5/8. That will rip this down the middle at the 45-degree angle. That way you get basically 2 French cleats out of 1 strip, and they're gonna be the exact same size. We've got a stack of sanded French cleat strips. Before we hang them up, it's gonna be a lot easier to stain them, so I'm gonna use that Cabot stainer, Cabot. We're gonna take this and we're going to get all of these stained before we hang them up. Okay, ready for the reveal?
Here, wait.
You gotta turn the garage doors open so it can't really, you know. To install the French cleats, all I did was space that first cleat on the bottom 7 to 7.5 inches from the top of the workbench, and then use a 4-inch wide scrap piece of wood to just space all the other cleats going up the wall. Probably should have pre-drilled everything before standing them, but I didn't know exactly where each of them were gonna go, so I was okay with pre-drilling after. I just made sure to pre-drill exactly where the studs were gonna go for each of the cleats, and then use 2.5-inch deck screws to fasten them to the walls.
If you guys made it this far in the video, go ahead and subscribe. You don't want to miss the next video I'm putting out on the rest of the shop build. We got a little bit more work to do. We got to hang the tools on the wall. We got to put the drawers in and the cabinets, but we're sticking hard and fast to the theme of staying on a tight budget. Don't forget to check out the free plans in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video.